Polaris is the daughter of Magneto and has been around in the comics here and there since 1968 when she made her first appearance in X-Men issue number 49. She's had a long history and has pulled off some impressive feats both with and without her father Magneto. Currently in the newest X-Factor comics, she's trying to find her own sense of self, separate from her dad, and trying to navigate all she's been through and what type of person exactly her experiences have made her, and who she wants to be. While she isn't usually the top 10 first thought of mutants, Polaris has become loved by fans in her own right and is considered to be at alpha level when it comes to her magnetic abilities. Welcome back, Nerd Squad. It's finally time for us to shine a spotlight on Lorna Dane, aka Polaris. Today we'll be exploring her character and just what kind of person she can be by counting down the top 10 alternate versions of Polaris. If you love exploring characters via their alternate versions, check out our top 10 alternate versions playlist. And be sure to stick around to the end of this list where I will have some bonus content coming your way. Alright, let's get counting. Number 10. Mutant X. The Mutant X verse is one where Havoc becomes the lone surviving Summers. He ends up as one of the X-Men founders in his brother's place. This is also the reality where Magneto takes over the leadership of the X-Men after Xavier absorbs the Shadow King's essence. Magneto in this reality was also one of the team's co-founders. When he takes over, many of the X-Men leave. Most who stay are his loyal children and a few other members. This includes Polaris and Quicksilver and such other members as Rogue and Mystique, ones who usually stick by Magneto's side, especially because Magneto and Rogue usually have that well, chemistry thing. Number 9. Age of Apocalypse. The Age of Apocalypse version of Lorna is deranged. Here she believes, due to her mutant abilities, that she is Magneto's daughter. She even fashions her costume after his. However, after she is captured by Apocalypse and those loyal to him, she is tested to determine if her claims are true. It turns out they're false. This time around, Magneto is not the father. Despite the facts, Lorna still appears adamant that he is and believes he will come to save her. In the end, it is Cyclops who manages to free her, preventing her from being tortured and sneaking her out, freeing her from Apocalypse's grasp. Number 8. What if Legion killed Magneto? In this alternate reality story of the What If series from the 90s, we imagine what would have happened if Legion succeeded in killing Magneto and the Age of Xavier came to fruition, instead of the Age of Apocalypse. By killing Magneto, Legion prevented his own existence from ever happening, as Magneto was there to help Xavier in Israel, where Xavier met Legion's mother, which causes all of reality to be altered. While not everyone survives the reality-altering changes, Polaris does. Though, in this reality, she joins the followers of Apocalypse and later on ends up dead when Jean Grey uses the Phoenix Force to unleash a lethal attack on her group, eliminating her and all of the other members. Number 7. Baby Polaris. I just really love how cute Baby Polaris is, so while I know this might not be the most epic alternate, I really want to talk about A-Babies versus X-Babies and Polaris's appearance there. Of course, in this comic, Polaris is fighting on the side of the X-Babies, who are attacked by the Baby Avengers after Baby Captain America believes his Bucky Bear was bear-napped by none other than Scott Summers, Baby Cyclops. Which of course, it was. We sadly only get a few panels of Polaris, but I just love her character design as a baby. She's smiley, she's optimistic looking, and she also looks quite fierce in battle in the few panels we do get featuring her. Number 6. Earth 23378. This is one of the realities known as the Ages of Apocalypse, featured in Uncanny X-Men issue 378. After Apocalypse used the 12 mutants he'd gathered to attempt to grant himself a godhood, multiple alternate future timelines were created. One such timeline was that of Earth 23378, which is fairly similar to Earth 616, although Magneto's roster for the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants is somewhat altered here. This time around he has Marrow, Polaris, Sunfire, and Rogue on his team. This version of Polaris often attempts to stand up to her father when she believes he is taking his plans to strike against those who would oppose him too far. I also just love how big and curly her hair is here. Like, bonus points for awesome hair. Number 5. X-Men Legends 2 Rise of Apocalypse. Polaris ends up allying with the X-Men in this 2004 video game X-Men Legends 2 Rise of Apocalypse, which is a sequel to X-Men Legends. Sadly, I don't think we ever saw a third part to this game, and the story was kind of left open-ended at the end of this, but I digress. At the beginning of the game, Magneto's Brotherhood and the X-Men team up in an effort to rescue Polaris and Professor Xavier. One thing I really love about this version of Polaris was her unique character design. She sort of had this winged cape, which was kind of cool, and wore a purple and gold costume that I just felt stood apart from a lot of the other looks and costumes we're used to seeing her in. Number 4. 90s Animated Series. In the X-Men 90s Animated Series, Polaris is a member of the X-Men and dates Iceman for some time. However, after the two try to pursue a normal life together away from the other mutants, Lorna believes that they are both being irresponsible for not utilizing their powers, and she leaves Bobby. Like most realities, she ends up falling in love and fighting alongside Havoc, and joins the X-Factor team. She only makes a few appearances in the animated series, with her first being in Season 3, Episode 15. Number 3. Ultimate. Lorna Dane from the Earth of 1610, the Ultimate Universe, spends most of her time in a relationship with Alex Summers. It is also implied that she may have also dated Havoc's brother, Cyclops, at some point. Due to Alex Summers of 1610 joining a government-affiliated New Mutants, he and Lorna split for a time as the group did not want him affiliating with someone who has magnetic powers, due to Magneto's bad reputation at the time. Wow, that's so rude. Not all people with magnetic powers are the same, you know. The two do eventually get back together while both attending Emma Frost's school, but Lorna appears to lose control of her powers and ends up locked up by S.H.I.E.L.D. and placed in a plastic prison with Magneto. While she's in prison, she is used in a plot to help Magneto escape without her knowledge or really her involvement. Used is a word that I sadly feel like often sums up Polaris' character when it comes to her involvement in most stories or plots or relationships, sadly. Poor Polaris. Number 2. Battle World. In the Battle World reality of Earth 61610, which is the combined world of 616 and 1610, Lorna finds herself as a guitar player in Peter Quill's band Swingin' Steve Rogers. She only appears in one issue of the miniseries tie-in comics Star-Lord and Kitty Pryde, but still, it's pretty neat to see her there, and see her at least acknowledged, and I love her suit jacket and bow tie look. This character design for Polaris was quite different from anything else we've seen thus far. I also would actually love to hear Peter Quill sing Part of Your World from The Little Mermaid with a full band. You know you're with Disney when that song pops up in a comic. Number 1. House of M. In the House of M reality of Earth 58163, Lorna is seen as Magneto's perfect daughter. In this reality, her father rules the mutant nation of Genosha. Lorna lives with her father there, but it is only revealed that he is her father after the war is fought and the rebellion of mutants won. Lorna herself helped in the fight. Her mutant abilities actually activated around the time she witnessed Magneto battling Sentinels on national television. Seeing this inspired Lorna to also rise up and become a leader. Magneto would find and recruit Lorna and her team, and later reveal that he was actually her father. This is Lorna the leader, who later follows in her father's footsteps. Thank you so much for watching, Nerd Squad. What are some of your favorite Polaris alternates? How do you feel about Polaris passing on the leadership role to Northstar in the newest X-Factor series? What is your favorite Polaris moment from the comics? Let us know in the comments below. And speaking of comments, it's time to turn to some comments from one of our latest videos, Top 10 Most Shocking Superhero Deaths Part 2. General Obi-Wan Kenobi comments, "May the Force be with you. May the Force be with us all." Kingdom Come Superman shares, "Infinite Crisis, many well-known characters died leading up to and including this event. Ted Kord, Superboy, and Golden Age Superman." Wow, that's true. There were actually a lot of shocking character losses leading up to Infinite Crisis. It could actually probably have its own list, just even in the lead up. Visago Castles asks, "Yeah, Amanda, I have a question for you. What is your opinion on Anti-Monitor from Crisis on Infinite Earths?" Man, Crisis on Infinite Earths is a very spacey story. I like spacey stories though. I think Anti-Monitor is very powerful, and I also think he's a pretty complex dude, obsessed with destroying everything just so he can rule his own version of the universe. Seems kind of backwards in my mind, but I guess that's just the antimatter way. And that's all the time we have for comments today. Be sure to comment below for a chance to have your thoughts shared and your questions answered in a future list. This has been Top 10 Nerd, and I'm your host Amanda McKnight. You stay nerdy, YouTube.